Yeah.
All right. Back again, guys. How are you? How are you? It is been what? It's been about 4 weeks since our last episode.
Wow.
Guys, today we're recording this on November 10th. Nothing has happened in current events. Let's just start off the current events. Nothing happened from now until nothing's going. I did find a picture on the internet. Actually, that's
current.
Akira, show the picture that I found on the internet. That's just the only thing of any note, guys. Besides that, nothing has changed.
Yeah.
And we're all going to be fine.
I lost it. Hold on.
Lost my picture already.
You keep talking. Keep talking.
I'll keep talking. So, guys, we had I'll admit to a certain amount of distraction over the last 4 weeks or so. It's been hard to get things done. You can imagine why.
Yeah. Sometimes it just takes you out of the mood, you know what I mean, to do it.
Yeah, well, for me, it was the uncertainty. Uncertainty drives me crazy, and an election is the inherent baby of uncertainty.
Yeah, especially with big consequences like this. We'll see.
We'll see.
If he tries to do the stuff he says that he was trying to do, then, you know what I mean, we might have to get him.
I got a backup plan. I got a couple of backup plans. One is to buy a compound with the rest of my family in Kentucky or some shit.
Nice.
And then we're going to self-sustain. My mom knows how to butcher chickens.
Nice. You get a bow and arrow, a bendy stick and a string.
I think you just go in there and wring its head off.
Oh, yeah. But you got to you got to buy chickens, but if you hunt them.
If you want protein in the post, 2024 election world, you're going to have to kill it yourself because
we're talking about mealworms, earthworms.
Yep. Or we're about to go into some of this today, in fact.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about environmental stability today, guys.
I found the picture.
Oh, wait, current events. Current events. Hold on. Show the current event. This was the only thing that happened, guys, remember.
It is current. And it's a heck of an event
look at this.
Wow.
Look at this cute little dude. This is my kind of art right here, man. Like he's all at the top of the tree. So, guys, this is a little nug and a little oil man.
Okay, it's made out of
what? Hash concentrate.
Wow. Okay.
Akira sent me this picture, and I just fawned over it for a while.
He's got a backpack.
Oh, hell yeah, he's got a backpack.
Is there a way to make that bigger? Whoa.
You see, he's got a little dark backpack here.
Is that hash or something?
That's probably hash. While the main part looks like BHO.
Wow, yeah, BHO, shining bubble liquid. And
this pretty tree in the background.
Yeah, that's a beautiful nugget in the back.
I could wallpaper my whole house with this picture.
Yeah, wow.
But
to make a little man out of
keef
or whatever
the world of extracts is very interesting because you have some very, very talented people doing things like this, but you also have very talented people making cannabis extract. We call them extract artists in the industry.
I'm fascinated by the extract making process and even just the growing process, really, which I know we'll talk about today.
Yeah,
like I'm big into the environmental aspect of everything and stuff like that, but applying it to this, marijuana cultivation and growing process. Yeah. Pretty interesting for me. Yeah.
So, guys, today we are doing cannabis and environmental stability, sustainability, whatever you want to call it. Well, first of all, let me ask you guys this: what is the most green practice you do on a daily or weekly basis? Right. For me, oh God, I'm getting ready to lie here. Okay, so when I have the option to, I will buy in the cannabis space, for instance. Your example doesn't have to be in the cannabis space, but for me, I choose if people have something packaged in like hemp plastic. I love hemp plastic because hemp plastic is a biodegradable form of packaging made from hemp, obviously, that eventually will just go back into the environment. Now, the oil-based containers, which are plastics of any type, you know, there's been a lot of research development about plastics. Have you ever heard of microplastics?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what's in all the fish's cells and stuff. And then we eat them and then it's in ours.
Yep. So we have no idea what all of this microplastic inundation has done to our ecosystem, guys.
Right.
Humans tend to take a frog in a slow boiling pot of water, right? We don't do anything until it is boiling hot and there are no choices but to jump out the pot, right?
Right.
So, you know, guys, we are stewards for the next generation of people, right? And I think it behooves us to kind of just think about that, try to be altruistic, try to leave the place better than we found it.
Absolutely. Everybody's focused on like you know, their own nation and like getting ahead and America first and butter is more expensive. It's like, let's take care of the planet. You know what I mean? It's our planet as humans. So we got to come together and take care of it here. And there's little ways that we can do it. We've been trashing it. You know what I mean? We've been like kind of just ignoring it and just letting it pile up, like you said. Now it's kind of an emergency situation.
Yeah. So, you know, for me, I have this stupid thought in my head. Say, you know, we exist in a large galaxy universe, right?
Yeah.
If there is a group of aliens out there that have secret tech and they're just waiting for humans to, you know, kind of raise the vibration and reach a higher standard before they let us into the Federation, we're failing.
Oh, absolutely.
Failing big time because we're still arguing over what skin color that guy has.
Right.
Right. They ain't gonna let us in the Federation.
They're laughing at us.
They are, guys.
Or they're judging us as too primitive and be like, let's come back in 200 years.
Yeah. If you guys want no money and everything is free and you have transporters and what are the thing that could
communicators?
No. If
we already got those.
Captain Picard is on the ship and he's like, tea, Earl Grey.
Oh, you're talking about a replicator.
Replicator. If you guys want the replicators and all the cool shit the aliens have, start acting right.
Yep. Let's take care of the
or just talk to me, guys. If you're just come get me, I will go with you. We'll leave all these assholes here on Earth.
There's really cool ways, and this is a real thing you can do through like meditation and a green laser pointer. You can call UFOs and like on.
Oh, you're talking about CE5.
Yes, I'm talking about CE5. Yeah. I haven't paid for it yet, but I'm about to. You know what I mean? I've been working for a couple weeks now.
So I have the workbook.
Oh, nice. I didn't buy anything from it. I've only seen it and I've looked stuff up online.
I'm not surprised by that.
I bought the book.
It's like $10 or something like that. It's cheap.
We are completely off topic, but there's this guy.
This is the coolest thing possibly in the world right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, there's this guy. I gotta look up his name.
Dr. Stephen Greer.
Dr. Stephen Greer. Yeah. Shout out Dr. Stephen. So his whole thing is you can call these extra dimensional beings by focusing your mind,
non-human entities,
and grouping with other people that want the same thing. They've literally been able to call on these beings or whatever they are.
Yep.
And
you have a thermal camera ready or something like that, and you can see them. You can point in the sky and they chase your laser pointer around. It's a light that's moving. You don't, but sometimes they see people or like an entity, rather non-human entity.
So aliens are here. They're observing us, right? We are all fucking it up. Stop it. Love your fellow man, right? Get rid of all the weapons, and then we get into the Federation.
It's funny too because people that have experiences and stuff. I've been interested in this for a long time, so I look up a lot of stuff about it.
Me too.
I saw a UFO in like 2012. I want to say.
Dude, you saw a UFO?
I saw a UFO. It was 3 lights in an equilateral triangle, and they were rotating as they were moving. So it couldn't have been a plane. It was like a big triangle thing, and it was spinning as it was moving across. No sound, no nothing. I couldn't tell how far away it was, but it was 3 lights and they were spinning and moving at the same time. Right out back of Peking Wok Chinese restaurant in down in Larchmont on Route 38 in Ark Road.
I don't know if I've ever met an encounter survivor.
I see. But the people that have these encounters that report something being said to them or information being communicated, it's always take better care of your planet and stop it with the nukes. Yeah. Stop it with the nuclear stuff.
So if we get rid of the nukes, stop arguing over skin color, we're in.
Right.
we got to have, we're going to come back to this topic because I love talking about aliens.
Same.
And the Anunnaki. I just put that in because look up the Anunnaki, guys. That's what's really going on.
I love ancient aliens. It seems like they're starting to disclose this stuff to us. They are. You know, I mean, it started with ancient aliens, but they would only ask the question, could it be possible?
I have always thought that the powers that be were slowly drip feeding us kind of what's really going on so that when it happens, you know, we're not all shocked.
Less of a shock.
Going to be shocked anyway, but I've always thought that there are humans in contact as of today, and
back engineering technology and stuff like that. But it's again, it's a greed. It seems from our perspective, it seems like it feeds the greed of the people at the top again, which everything does. So it's like that's what people are tired of. I feel like you know what I mean?
Yeah, the reptilians. Just kidding. The reptilians. I can't really get on to the whole reptilian thing, but let's stop fucking talking about this. Yeah. Because what are we, 10 minutes in?
Yeah. But the point is, take care of the planet.
But the point is, take care of the planet.
Yeah.
So today, guys, we are going to be doing I loved that. So, guys, we're talking about cannabis and environmental stability today. We're going to focus on a few points here, and I wanted to kind of front load what we were going to talk about. So I made a little slide here just to go over the major parts. Is that it? That it. All right. So you got a couple large parts of this whole kind of system here: water usage, energy consumption, pesticides and soil health, and waste generation.
Okay.
As I see it, these are 4 of the largest categories of potential waste generation and other environmental issues that we want to be concerned with. Water usage is obviously a big one. We will not always have infinite water.
That's one thing people don't look at in terms of they're like, oh, save energy or walk here or don't use plastic bags. But water is a big one. Water is probably the most immediate one.
Yeah. And then you got energy consumption, which cannabis takes a large amount of energy to grow, especially the way we're doing it, which is not outside. Obviously, outside has its own set of challenges, but at least you don't have to have the big energy consumption cost, right?
And that would be the thing that people would, they would check your energy bill to see if you were growing weed back then, because you need the incandescent bulbs.
If they could,
technology's changed, but at the same time, it still does take a lot to grow it indoors. So
and they could take a thermal imaging camera and they would just look to see the biggest heat bloom. And that's where the weed was. Because they're using the most electricity. After energy consumption, you got pesticides and soil health. Very, very big issue, especially if any of these products are leaching into our soil. We have to make sure that doesn't happen because the nutrients required to grow cannabis fast and large is not necessarily good for the environment in large doses, and we'll go over what that means. And then the last one is waste generation. Now, waste generation is basically trash, and the cannabis industry produces a good amount of trash, and it is in the packaging, most usually, single-use plastics. Just not a good idea with cannabis because the ratios are very small, right? You got 1 gram of wax, and then you're using several grams more of plastic,
and that's all it's going to be ever used for.
Yes, and you're throwing that in the trash. All of these disposable e-cigarettes and disposable vapes and cartridges. Just imagine in 10 years, guys, how much garbage we are going to generate from this industry alone. It is huge. And it kind of scares me because we don't have many other industries like this where the waste generation is just at an extreme level. So that is what we're going to go over today. And we're going to start with water. right? Because it is probably the most vital out of all these.
Yep.
We can live without energy. Well,
energy comes from the sun. Right.
There you go. So cannabis is an extremely water intensive crop, bro.
Yeah.
Try and guess how many gallons per plant a cannabis plant uses. Who's got a good guess? And you can't read my sheet here.
Is it a gallon a day or something like that?
A gallon a day.
Akira, per one plant?
What do you think?
Per one plant?
Yeah, for one plant in one growing season, how many gallons of water?
For the whole season?
The whole season.
Probably 500 at least.
Okay. Akira is way over.
Sorry.
Her cannabis plant is a cannabis tree. 150 to 250 gallons, guys. 3 to 6 gallons of water per day.
Oh, wow. 3 per day. Holy crap.
Yeah. And, this would be a typical outside plant, right? Outdoor plants often need more water due to the environmental exposure, being outside. Yeah. They can be in hotter, drier climates. They can require, up to 5 to 10 gallons per week, depending on the humidity and the rainfall. And in areas that are drought prone, that becomes even more, right? Yeah. If you're in California where you have the occasional drought, growing weed outside is just not sustainable because you have all of these periodic droughts. So that's why we, weed is grown inside on the industrial scale that we're doing today. Right?
Okay, it's better with water usage and hydroponics.
Yes, you can use less water. The conditions are more controlled, so bringing the process indoor and using more efficient watering techniques like hydroponics, other water conserving techniques, other irrigation drip techniques, that can be a lot more efficient in terms of how much water you're using.
That's super fascinating too, like the long PVC pipes just with the holes poked in it, you know what I mean? And it drips out slowly, just constantly giving it with water. It's very cool.
I was visiting a grow the other week. A good friend of mine, Blisco, Joe over at Blisco. Joe. And who I can't wait to deal with some more, guys. We got some good stuff planned. But the water system in this building, state of the art.
Wow.
And it has a reverse osmosis system.
Whoa.
And it's got these huge water tanks and this kind of water processing room in the facility. And it just kind of intimated to me how important the water is, right? You got to have good inputs to get good outputs. So the first step of having an efficient and growing good weed is making sure your water is clean, guys. So for anybody, even when we're eventually growing at home, you want to make sure that the water you're using has the right mineral content, has the right acidity, pH balance. You want to make sure that everything about your water is going to help and not impede your grow process. And, this water that we're talking about can leach back into the water system if it's not properly isolated and processed, right?
If they get a tube out the back of the building, it's just going to join the rest of the water table.
Yes, if you're not doing things that are environmentally sound, maybe this water is running off back into the system, and now you've got all of these fertilizers and pesticides in the water that will rejoin our drinking water. So you want to make sure that companies you're dealing with, if you can even find this out, are doing the right things with water. All of these things you want to make sure they're doing the right way, but water starts the first one. So what are we on to next, Alex? Hold on, let me go back to our little board here. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't get to put up our little thing. Guys,
water
this is
usage.
my little graphic. Guys, look how good this graphic is. I was supposed to put this up before we started talking.
Water usage.
But now you see it. I spent a good 3 minutes on this.
Nice.
So
it looks like the same stuff, that water dripping at the bottom. It's just a blue version of that backpacker stuff. Shiny, good.
Except water.
Except water.
All right. So next, guys, we're going to talk about energy consumption.
Nice.
Ooh.
Pikachu, Thunderbolt.
I was trying to think of a pop character Pikachu would do. So energy consumption, guys, as you can imagine, if you're growing weed inside and you have various systems that need to run on this energy, that energy can get pretty costly.
Yeah.
Right. So, Alex, out of these three things, I'm going to name three things. I want you to tell me which one costs the most in energy costs. Okay. You got lighting, climate control, and you got CO2 enrichment. What do you think? Which one of these costs the most to maintain?
If I had to guess, out of the three, it would be CO2 enrichment. Just because it seems like, I don't know, I know about CO2 tanks and you have to have a whole system. We looked at like the concentrate making process and like the tubes and the pipes and stuff. It's got to be energy intensive, just that whole system.
Yeah, well, it's kind of honestly, it's a trick question because the CO2 enrichment, well, let's just talk about CO2 enrichment first. Yeah. So cannabis plants absorb CO2 during photosynthesis, guys. And increasing the amount of CO2 in a grow room should boost yields by about 20-30% actually, if you're putting the right amount of CO2 in the room.
Wow.
But that CO2 requires a CO2 generator.
Right.
It requires compressors, which are for the CO2 tanks. So if you have a sealed room, right, some rooms are hermetically sealed, so you don't have outside contaminants coming in.
Right.
It becomes expensive to maintain that CO2 enriched environment, right?
Wow. Can people still walk around and breathe normally in there?
Oh yes, it's not like a vacuum or anything.
Okay.
No, it's just an increased amount of CO2. You can still breathe in there and everything. It's not like oxygen deprived, right?
Okay.
But though the CO2 enrichment can increase plant growth, it being energy intensive, it also emits a lot of heat.
Okay.
Right. And that heat can add to the cooling load for your whole facility. So by having a good CO2 system, you increase the energy expenditure because you have to keep the whole environment cool, and the CO2 generators aren't helping do that. Sometimes you'll have this CO2 system like outside, so it's not inside and adding heat to your system.
Gotcha. Okay, and just making it work that much harder to maintain the climate in there.
Yes. Wow. So CO2 enrichment, huge part. The other part we kind of dabbled into climate control, right? Weed grows between, this is actually pretty much a little higher than my range, but 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
I prefer, I want to say 60 to 75. That's my ideal environment. Fuck these plants. Huh. Just kidding. But yeah, so to maintain a 70 to 85 degree environment, depending on where you are, can be difficult, right?
Yeah.
Say you're in Alaska in the damn winter.
Yeah.
How you maintaining 70, 85 degrees? With money.
Yeah.
And expensive equipment.
Only with money, yeah.
How do you, you're in Arizona and it's 110 degrees outside. How do you maintain that 70 to 85 in your grow up?
Ice cubes everywhere now, but in an expensive way.
Tell me, if you're using ice cubes, it's going to be a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
But no, climate control can be the significantly higher part of your energy costs. It's generally going to be one of the highest. That's why, when you're in temperate climates where there's not as much temperature range change, you have greenhouses, right? Because greenhouses can maintain their heat in pretty cool temperatures as long as there's solar energy.
Yeah.
So that's why you see these huge greenhouses in certain parts of the country, so that even during the winter months, they can still continue to grow.
Yeah.
Right. So, that climate control, air conditioning, the air conditioning units themselves also generate a lot of heat. So you're having to cool off the stuff you're using to cool the building, right? So that's another reason a lot of these air conditioning units are outside the facility, so they're not adding to the heat, right?
Yes.
And then our last energy component, can you guess what what's the last part that we haven't talked about yet, Alex?
The lighting.
The lighting.
Yeah, the lighting.
Right? The solar energy. And this is the magic. right? This is how photosynthesis occurs. This is how the plant sets the conditions to intake all of those delicious nutrients. So lighting has a kind of a range of different types of lights. Originally, there's only a couple types of lights, and they were called high intensity lights.
High intensity, right? And then that's where they would be so hot and so hard to maintain.
Yes,
and so expensive.
These high intensity lights are high pressure sodium metal halide lights. They provide the intense light needed for photosynthesis, and especially during the flowering stage, where light is most important. So the high pressure sodium and the metal halide lights are known for high electricity consumption, right? So though they can put off a better quality of light, they are expensive, and they also add to your heat generation, which is further cooling cost.
Yeah, so it seems like they all feed each other in terms of
yes, it is a interconnected system. And these lights are on 12 to 18 hours a day, because typically with a growth cycle, depending on which part of it you're in, some part of it needs 12 hours a day of light. Sometimes you need 10, or it depends on what part of it. Yes, it depends on all of that. But generally between 12 and 18 hours a day can be costly with these expensive lights. Now, there is a lower cost option.
LEDs, right?
Yep, LEDs, which uses less electricity, also emits less heat. Both
they use a fraction of the electricity.
Yes,
from what I understand.
because of the reduced energy use and reduced cooling cost, they can be a very advantageous form of light. However, they are expensive. Initial investment can be high, and not all LEDs can produce the entire spectrum of
full
light.
Spectrum necessary. LEDs. Yeah, it's purple, it's blue, it's red, it's all that. Yeah, like a grow. I just actually bought myself a grow light off of one of our favorite websites, and yeah, I'm gonna just grow plants inside, not for weed or anything. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll put one of these grow cans underneath.
We don't care what he grows at home, right, y'all? You can grow whatever flowers, he wants.
I did just buy one, waiting for it to come. Maybe 6 months from now.
Yeah, one of the first things people struggle to understand when they ask me about trying to grow at home is this lighting issue. It's not just a bulb from Home Depot. It is a very specialized type of lighting. And honestly, if you want to find stuff like this that's not on the internet, you have to go to a hydroponic store or something similar. Shout out to my buddy Paul at Green Dragon Hydroponics over in Gloucester. Gloucester. He's in Gloucester. Sorry, Paul.
Gloucester.
Yeah, Paul's over in Gloucester, and he is an expert when it comes to lighting. So if you are at all interested, guys, in starting to find some equipment to have your own grow up, please go visit Paul. He is a very cool guy.
At the Green Dragon?
Yep. At the Green Dragon Hydroponics store. All right, so that ends energy consumption, guys. We'll give you some ways to kind of make sure you're picking people that are taking this into account when they're building out their operations. One more thing: indoor grows leave a large carbon footprint compared to outdoor greenhouse growing. Many growers adopting energy efficient technologies like LED lighting, renewable energy sources, and smart climate control systems reduce both cost and environmental impact. And this is important. I didn't want to miss this smart climate controls. So with the proliferation of AI and algorithms and stuff, a lot of these factors can be balanced with the right kind of computer software system.
Okay, yeah, it turns the lights on and off for you and manages it.
Yes, if you have a system that monitors all this, which a lot of the nicer high-end grows now do this practice. It still requires a master grower to kind of, maintain the balance, but a good system integrated into this can help you reduce costs, make the day easier for your employees. So, all right. So next, guys, next we have a very dirty part of the industry is this part. Pesticides,
yeah.
and soil health.
Health of soil.
Is your soil healthy? Is the dirt healthy? So, guys, in the long history of farming and agriculture that we have developed here on planet Earth, we have some good things and we have some mostly bad things, right? The use of pesticides and synthetic fertilizers in cannabis cultivation, while necessary and can boost growth, they also have some significant effects on the soil health and surrounding ecosystems, guys. And, alternative methods to the kind of industrial ones that we've grown up with are necessary to have this industry not be just completely deleterious to our environment.
Yep. And just food growing in general, corn, right, soybeans, whatever it is. I know in farming practices in general, pesticides is like a major thing right now.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of people to feed, man.
Yep.
It's a big planet, lots of people here. And when you have a capitalist system like we do, right? The earth is not the primary stakeholder. Right? Nope. In a capitalist society, what's the primary stakeholder for most businesses, Alex?
The primary stakeholder?
Yes. In a corporation, for instance, is that corporation most concerned with the customer profits, or the shareholder?
Right.
The
shareholder and profits. Yeah. Unfortunately, greed, it seeps into that.
Right. So when you have a system like this, guys, that means that what we're trying to do is please the people that are making the money. So that means kind of making the customer happy, but it certainly doesn't mean take care of the environment as much as you can.
Right.
Right. So when you have bad actors in a space that is dealing with the environment, you can get huge issues. I study a lot of Chinese government stuff, right?
Big time pollution in China, right?
Yes, let me correct this. The Chinese government is a massive polluter, right? They are burning more coal in China than the entire planet combined. And I don't know if you guys know, it's getting kind of warm out. Getting kind of warm out. And, I'm not a climate scientist, so I can't tell you exactly what this has come from, but I'm pretty sure it's because we're just doing whatever we want to make energy.
And have been since the industrial era, you know what I mean?
Have been since the first guy discovered fire, right?
The cows keep farting, they keep farting. And
yes. Now, dude, that is a legitimate issue. We are growing so much beef on this planet that their farts are impacting the temperature, guys. So this is what I mean by just kind of unchecked expansion. They've been the educational system in America and media in general has been telling us about. Well, scientists have been telling us about the environment since you were in elementary school, right?
Yeah.
Like they've been saying this since the 80s.
Yeah.
Right.
Since the
80s. It's getting warmer. The sea levels are going up, guys. This is not fake.
Right.
Okay. Our planet is changing and, it's changing more rapidly.
It's literally 80 degrees for like the last 3 days in November.
Yes, exactly. That is not just out of the blue. Right. Okay. The average temperature of our planet is increasing at a very fast clip. So my point here, guys, we have to do something. We at least have to stop adding to the problem. Right. If we can just manage to stop increasing the amount and kind of just stop at what we are at now, we got a chance here.
Right.
But
as long as it's not just exponentially exploding like it has been.
Yes. There's only guys, one day it will be too hot to grow food. one day the water will be so tainted that it will cost you a lot of money to get some clean drinking water.
But it's not even like it's not our fault. The consumer, it's the corporation.
Yeah, it is. I agree. I think it's the
whole hoax. Like they're like, oh well, you're not recycling your Coke bottles, so that's why the planet's fucked up. It's like no.
No,
but it's not that. That's a good thing. But
no, have you ever heard of this whole this idea that the level of recycling that we actually do as a nation is completely useless?
Oh yeah,
right. So we've been sold this kind of
it's on you,
right? We've been sold this kind of, if you recycle your bottles and cans, guys, drop in the bucket.
Well, it's not even that. Like when you recycle it,
they throw most of it away.
They throw most of it away because the recycling centers in most municipalities, they can't handle the type of recycling or the type of plastics that we're recycling and given as consumers.
Yeah. Right. So the system is not built to recycle everything that we have. Now, there are some countries that are doing this very well. I think some Asian countries have. Japan has
because they incinerate things.
Yes, and they have very strict recycling laws and trash laws that
depend on the sea directly. Fish from the ocean feed Japan.
Oh, it's a small country.
Yeah. Well, it's also homogenous, and we don't have the same issues of like you said earlier. That guy has a different skin color than me.
Yes,
we have to get rid of that. To progress.
We do, because we all have to agree on a couple things here, right? And because they do have a homogenous society and they have a lot of the same values as a country, they can see the writing on the wall. But us over here in America, though we are a melting pot, which is great, and we have every kind of person in the world, kind of makes it hard to make laws sometimes.
Yeah, because people are stupid and they don't want to. We're the same.
Yeah, they don't. Most of the country just got tricked into. Let me not.
Another day. But yeah, our point is, guys, that we can't just continue doing what we're doing here. We have to change, and that really doesn't mean recycle more. I mean, it does for your personal thing, but it really means legislation at the state and government and local level. I'm a believer in most politics are local. The things that affect you, most of that shit is local politics, which means the mayor, the governor, the local government institutions that can help us change this. So, when you see somebody who's got an agenda that includes trying to fix some of this shit, maybe you should pay attention to them.
Right.
But let's go back to where we are, right? We were talking about soil and pesticides, and I got off on yet another tangent. But so impact on soil microbes. Soil microbes are the bacteria and the little creatures that live in our soil and help us to pollinate and maintain healthy plants.
Shout out to isopods. Love me some isopods.
What's an isopod?
Oh,
what's an isopod?
An isopod is like
yeah, I'm gonna look one up.
They're so cute. I don't really know how to describe them.
Oh, it's a type of
it's in the order of crustaceans, so they're technically a crustacean. They have giant sea isopods at the bottom of the sea, but most of the isopods, they're roly-polies.
This pill bug almost.
Yeah, pill bug. It's roly-poly, pill bug. They're all synonymous with isopods.
Have you ever seen the movie, guys? Look this up if you haven't. It's called The Bay.
Isopod movie.
Okay. I am a huge fan of found footage, which is like Blair Witch Project and stuff, where you got a home camera. In this movie, there's a small town on a bay, and they're having their like summer festival.
Okay.
And in the bay, somehow they release these killer isopods.
Okay.
Right.
That's what we need.
And bro, they go to town on these people. They start eating them from the inside.
Wow.
Oh yeah, guys, watch this movie. It's so fun. It's so fun. I've seen it so many times. The Bay. It's directed by Barry Levinson. And just trust me, if you want some found footage, this movie is also 12 years old.
Nice.
Who's old? I'm not old. Shut up. But yeah, good film here. Also, in the environmental space that we're talking about here, it is kind of kind of a cautious tale.
A commentary.
If you will. Yes. So The Bay Guys, excellent movie. And so the isopods that are generally in our soil, we have to protect these guys, right? Because they help.
They break down dead matter like leaves, that you can put like. Okay, so there's a community of people who have isopods as pets.
Oh, wow.
I used to have them, but my colony died.
Oh, long shit.
Killer.
But you could, if you were like a taxidermist and you wanted to clean the bones or the skin and stuff off of like a squirrel or whatever, you can put the squirrel in a thing of isopods and they will decompose it all.
Oh, wow. My God. Oh,
so that movie is kind of real.
It is. And this sounds scary. Those isopods were eating them from the inside out.
Yeah.
It was not good.
So they got in first and then they.
But now I understand. Oh, yeah. Field trip.
Swear
next week. No filming. We're watching The Bay.
I'm going to do an unrelated thing. Hold on.
Oh, I like unrelated things. I love
it's about isopods.
Oh, go find it. So guys, my point is pesticides can disrupt this microbial balance, right? If you have some, chemical that kills the isopods, that could be an issue, right? So we have to maintain some type of controls on what pesticides we're using in our food, our cannabis, anything that's growing. We have to watch what we use, right? So say we are using a lot of, I don't know, phosphorus or something like that. That leads to something called bioaccumulation. And if you can probably imagine, it means build up of what would I call it? Biofactors, let's call it. So pesticides can bioaccumulate in plants and animals that consume them, which then affects higher levels of the food chain, right? So if your food's food is eating some type of
the fish in the water with the microplastics in their systems
ends up in you, which ends up in the food chain goes. So you have to protect the food chain from this type of issue, which means regulations and government making sure that businesses can't use certain things. And pesticide regulations, they vary widely state to state, guys. And because cannabis remains federally illegal right now, there are no standardized pesticide regulations. Every state's a little different, and that's not necessarily good. Some growers will use chemicals that will be otherwise restricted or banned for food, for instance.
To get that quick profit or to get that plant to turn out a certain way.
Yes. And this patchwork approach kind of creates inconsistent safety practices and environmental impacts.
Not to mention you're burning and inhaling, and if it's got nasty shit in there, that's not good,
Yeah, and it's something we're just not studying yet, guys. Yeah. Synthetic fertilizers, which are, not manure, right? This is stuff created in a factory. They deliver high concentrations of specific nutrients, let's say nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. While they do initially boost plant growth, they can lead to imbalances in the soil, causing plants to become dependent on some type of fertilizer rather than doing it naturally, right? Rather than building natural soil fertility by using regenerative processes like leaving a field fallow or crop rotations or composting, things like that. These are some of the natural processes that will maintain the soil health over time. You also have soil acidification, which is something that happens when you're repeatedly using any type of fertilizer.
Yeah, because then soon enough you can't grow anything and it's too acid.
Yes, because it's been drained or imbalanced, so that now that soil is not able to grow off or grow as it originally was. There's also runoff, which is we spoke about earlier. Excess nutrients from fertilizer can wash into nearby water bodies, leading to eutrophication.
Yeah,
eutrophication. Well, we're going to screw that one up. It's okay. We're going to screw that one up. But it's excess nutrients from fertilizers can wash into nearby water bodies, leading to eutrophication, a process that causes algae blooms and reduces oxygen levels in water. So if you've ever come upon a body of water or seen something on like History Channel where a lake is red, right, or a lake is just not the color it should be.
It's not Moses turning it to blood. It's
this is what they're talking about, an algae bloom, red algae or something like that. And it's because those microbes are feeding off of something that shouldn't be there, right? And in the process, turning the water red or whatever it is.
And again, it's all interconnected, because if you use, say, you use all this Roundup and it clears out the weeds and stuff like that, then it washes into the lake.
Oh yeah,
your dog drinks from the lake. It's
Roundup, and I believe that's Monsanto.
Yep.
If you
guys also make seeds, by the way.
Oh yeah. Well, if you guys are familiar with Monsanto, it's probably the largest grower of food and other things on our planet.
Corn, stuff like that.
And they've gotten a pretty bad reputation for some of their practices, which obviously they're like, remember what we said, their primary stakeholder is not the planet or customers. It's the people that provided the money, right?
Yeah.
So they want more money. They don't care if the earth is hurt in the process. These practices need to be stopped.
Right.
Not that they're going to. As you can see, the way things are going, the guardrails that organizations like the EPA and shit, that shit is coming off, guys. Right? I don't know if you heard of a guy named Robert Kennedy Jr.
Oh, Jesus.
This dude is a fucking psycho.
Brainworms.
Right? And this guy is going to be in control of some of our most important health organizations.
Yep.
So
not to mention the people at the top think, oh, it's not, that's nothing, it's BS.
Yeah, the whole climate change doesn't exist it's crowd. Oh, gosh, guys, all you have to do is go outside.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the key. They want you to stay inside with your family that has your skin color and your stuff, and they keep you in there this way, this way they can trick you into all these things.
Well, if
you go outside, you'll learn the real truth about stuff. Like it's race. It's more than that. But global warming is a big one, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I don't think we should even call global warming. Confuses people. Now we call it climate change, because global warming, if it's not hot that particular day when this person is outside, they don't really understand what you mean. It's cold now. How could there be any global warming going on?
And the earth is flat, so
also too, I feel like argument that I've heard is global warming is inevitable because of like the ice age. Like once the ice age happens, obviously it's natural.
It's a natural cycle.
It is a natural cycle, but it's faster because
accelerated.
Of us.
Yeah, we've accelerated. Yes, the world has natural warming and cooling trends.
But you don't want what comes at the end of the natural warming trend, which is a lava planet, right?
Like that or an ice age.
Right, exactly.
I one of my favorite classes in college, guys, which I was let's say average at best, was weather. Right, I had this one weather class, and the professor explained how an ice age could occur. And what he said was that let's just concentrate on the Atlantic Ocean, right? The Atlantic Ocean has a current, and that current goes north from the coast of the United States up through, Greenland and Antarctica, and comes back down past Europe, the coast of Africa.
Antarctica. The North Pole.
The North Pole.
Yeah, the Arctic. Yeah.
Europe. But technically the Atlantic Ocean does get to Antarctica.
But that's why it's like warm in Scotland, even though it's that much further north of us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
the water has warmed down in the Gulf in the equator, and it's gone up north. So that cycle is controlled by water salinity and temperature, right? So if it's raining a lot, the salinity of the ocean goes down. Mm-hmm. And the more that salinity goes down, the less effective
the salt content salinity.
Yes. The less effective the current is. The current that provides the movement of heat and cooling in our planet.
Too. Yeah.
Right. So if that Atlantic current slows down enough, there's no heat coming from the equator to the north, right? So without that, things begin to get cold. And it's really kind of it's kind of difficult to understand how a warming climate can cause an ice age, but that's how. By melting the ice caps, decreasing the salinity, stopping the cycle of warm air from the equator to the north, it becomes super cold, and then it runs away. You got an ice age. Okay. Or just fire everywhere. That could happen too, I'm sure. But guys, the point is, this shit is possible. You know, we're so disconnected from our planet as humans that most of us think this is not possible, right? This could never happen.
No, what do they talk about? There'll be more beachfront property when the water rises.
What a dumb thing to say.
Actually, it's gonna be a little less.
What a dumb thing to say. Yeah. But so all in all, guys, take care of the planet. Take care of everything you put in and make laws that help us as a society do that.
Right? Take care of the future generations. Even if you're not going to be here to see the lava planet.
Right.
That your kids.
Right.
Right. Or they can't breathe before it even gets to that point. Then they'll just die.
So let's go real quick into the end of soil management here. So what are sustainable alternatives for soil management, right? What are some of the options to some of the issues we have here? Integrated pest management, which I love. And that's basically beneficial pests integrated into your system. Ladybugs, isopods, earthworms, worm casings.
Ones that actually benefit the plant and keep the pests away.
Yes, there are plenty of beneficial insects. And I actually prefer this method because it is one of the more natural ways. It mirrors what happens in nature.
You know what's crazy? I grew plants this season, right? This summer and spring season. I had a parsley plant. And there were these moth type things. Like it was a colorful, like daytime moth. They would always be on it and they'd be eating it. You can see like when I would pull one off, it would have like green juice, like a green droplet of juice around his mouth. He was eating it. And it was fine. They weren't affecting it, but the ones they would eat would turn yellow. The stalks that they would bite into would turn yellow. Then ants came and laid eggs at the base of this parsley plant. It's like it's like, you know, the city or the tree that they live in the Avatar movie.
Don't get me started on Avatar.
Well, so it's like that, Avatar. Right? And they built their eggs in here in the bottom.
Yes.
And because their eggs are there, it was like, I took up close pictures. It was like beautiful and intricate and tiny. But the ants like protect and control it. So there were no more moths, and the ants weren't eating that I could see the plant, but they were just defending it from the other bugs. No more other bugs at all, just ants. And they used it as a structure. Now all their eggs are hatched and the casings are still left, but the plant is super healthy. Like,
what do we call that, guys? We call that symbiosis.
Yeah, that was really cool. And the ants, like I said, didn't destroy it at all. They just used the structure to lay their eggs on.
I think that's so fucking cool, dude.
It really is cool. I like tried to document it the whole time, and I was like, let me not
let's
post
be like
ants.
Oh, Akira, there's a new ant game that came out where you get to play an ant colony.
Oh
wow!
Holy shit, you're gonna love this game.
Hours.
I've been going.
Days.
I've been going through.
Months.
Yeah. No, lately I've had a lot of video game hyper obsessions.
Lately.
Well, okay. So when life is distracting like this, guys, and there's just too much going on, and I need to escape. That's where I escape a lot of the time.
A lot of people, I feel like, yeah.
And we've talked about this before. I have ADHD, and there's this thing called hyper obsession, which gets into me, and I become unable to do anything that isn't that particular video game. I mean, I'll get the major emergency things done, but
go to the bathroom, eating.
Yes, opening the shop or something like that. But if let me stop. Let me stop about my video game obsession. Let's keep on going. So, guys, we were talking about soil management.
Yeah, with the natural you introduced
integrated pest management.
Oh, wait, real quick.
Yes.
Isopod break. Beep, 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 beep. Look at this. This is a rubber ducky isopod from native to Thailand.
Holy crap, he is cute.
And if you want to buy a colony of five of these things, guess how much?
$10.
No.
$99.99 plus shipping.
Yes.
Wow. Really?
These things are expensive. 5 of these little rubber ducky isopods are very expensive. They are like the holy grail of isopod collecting.
Wow. So how much is it? It's $100 for 5 of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't know, some isopod species can breed fast. Like there's one called the dairy cow. They're like little white ones with little black flecks. They breed like crazy. These I don't know about, but I just know that they're fancy and cute.
I am amazed that there's a group of people out here collecting these things. More power to you guys. I love it. You weirdos.
Jewel pods, isopods.
All right, so let's finish up soil here so we can get to waste generation. Cover cropping, crop rotation, biopesticides, natural repellents, the rest of the soil management stuff. And biopesticides means stuff like natural sources of like garlic spray or
mint spray and
yes,
stuff. Like they used to use that in Boy Scouts so the spiders would stay out of our tent.
I use
neem oil.
The Dr. Bronner's peppermint stuff mixed with water.
Yeah,
that's good.
Those are all natural alternatives that humankind has known of for a long time, guys. So
But then if you know about them, you don't buy the Monsanto branded. It's crazy stuff. So.
Bayer bought Monsanto.
Oh, they did?
Whatever it's called. Yeah, in 2019 or something.
So some rich people bought some more rich people.
Yeah, the fusing of the goodness of the pharmaceutical industry
with the goodness of the food growing industry. Exactly. Only good things can happen from a combination of strength and greed like that. So guys, last part of our environmental sustainability talk here today is waste generation, right? There is so much excess plastic and disposable vape carts and disposable pens. This is going to be an issue. The cannabis industry, while relatively new, faces a significant challenge in managing waste, particularly due to excess plastic in packaging and disposable vape cartridges. These items not only contribute to environmental pollution, but also create sustainability concerns as the industry grows. All right. So,
but again, this is one where they want to make it a beautiful little plastic package that humans will go and spend their money on and say, "Oh, I want that one." Yeah,
it has to look nice, right? It has to be bright. So you got two main things. You got the excess plastic and you got the disposable vape carts. Those are the primary generators of post-production trash generation, right? So what does this mean, right? What does excessive plastic packaging mean? Many states mandate and this first part is a reason that there is more plastic. And the first one is regulatory requirements, right? It's state to state regulatory requirements. Why does that cause more use of plastic? Many states mandate child resistant and tamper evident packaging for cannabis products to ensure consumer safety. While these rules serve an important purpose, they often result in multiple layers of plastic packaging, including outer shells, inner linings, seals, and individual compartments. Right? Guys, this issue, the fact that we have to make these packages kind of hard to get into because of you don't want children getting into these things, that fact alone makes it so we have to generate more plastic, right? Or to meet these regulatory requirements. Now, there's an easy answer to this. It's hemp plastic, right? If you just stop using traditional plastic, use hemp plastic, you've generally solved this. Hemp plastic costs more money though.
Okay, well there it is.
Because you have to grow your plastic, right? You got to grow your hemp, grow your plastic. I think it's cheaper to do it with oil, which is the way we get most of our plastics today. It's just cheaper.
Comes in a barrel, yeah.
But we have to reach an economy of scale to make packaging with hemp plastic viable economically, right? So there should almost be some kind of pilot program where we attempt to replace as much of our plastic use with hemp plastic. I think that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But that is exactly the kind of change we need to kind of get rid of this issue. Single-use plastics suck, right? If you use a piece of plastic once and you throw it away, that was not useful. Now, I am guilty of this just like everybody else. Everybody's guilty of this. If you've eaten fast food in the last week, you are guilty of this. If you bought something at the grocery store, we're guilty of this because it's just built in our overuse of plastics. So, you know, the only way I see to kind of fight this is at the government level. Otherwise, it'll never change because we're, you know, capitalist society. Plastic's cheap. Then you got the disposable vape carts. How many vape carts do you smoke in a typical, let's just say a month, Alex?
Probably like 3 a week.
3 a week.
Yeah. So
right. All right.
That's like 12 in a month, and that's just me.
Let me just do some light math here, folks. Okay, 3 times 52. Okay, 3 times 52 weeks in a year. So 156 vape carts a year. Let's just do a lifetime, 30 years. So 156.
30 years for a lifetime?
Yeah. Say you start smoking at 20 and you go 30 years. Right. All right, guys. So you have the potential to smoke 4,680 vape carts in a lifetime.
And they look like this and they pile up, I imagine. 4,000 would fill a big bucket. Yeah.
So if you multiply this, which is a personal 30 years of vape carts, let's just say 100 people are doing this. You're approaching 500,000 fucking vape carts.
Right. And that's just 100 people.
That's 100 people
over hundreds of millions. Yeah.
Yes. This is not sustainable.
Unless you start building your houses out of it or something.
Yes. This is not sustainable. So the growing popularity of cannabis it lends part of its success to the vape cartridge, right? Vape cartridge has made cannabis accessible for almost anybody.
Right.
You know, you can do it anywhere. You don't have to smoke it. You don't have to
roll it or grind it or hide from the cops.
It is wholly accessible within seconds you're using cannabis.
Yeah.
But this e-waste is a huge issue. So we have to figure a way around this, whether it's a permanent vape, whether you just buy the oil and pour it in your device.
Yeah, like the nicotine vapes.
Yes, like the old nicotine vapes. This has to change, guys. And it's not going to change until somebody like myself or us starts talking about these issues, because this is the last thing on their list. The CRC, for example, which is the entity that runs the New Jersey cannabis system, this is not high on their list, right? So you have to make it high on their list by raising these concerns and, you know, going to a meeting and saying, hey, guys, how about the 500,000 vape carts that we're going to have from 100 people in 30 years? Right? That has to change. And this is one of the ones I'm most stringent on in terms of things that needs to happen. You got to get rid of these fucking carts.
Yeah, they're all over the parking lots and sidewalks and too.
Yeah, it's like vials of heroin. Right, or fucking crack rocks.
Yeah.
It's just vials, just everywhere. And we're going to bury ourselves in these things. So guys, that's really all there is to do it. They have metals in them. They have chemicals in them. If they're not properly disposed of, these minerals and things, they leach into our water and our soil.
And Lord knows they're made in Paraguay or something. Like, nothing wrong with Paraguay, but I'm saying
no, they're made in China. Have you seen those the videos of like that?
These ones are made in China. Or these ones are made in like South America.
Have you seen the videos of like the guys in the factory? They have literally, they're like testing every single one.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Guys, these carts are not made with American style regulation. They're made with Chinese style regulation, which is no regulation.
Yeah, which is just get it.
So this is another separate issue. These carts, you want to make sure they're coming from somewhere that's reputable, right? Because if they are constructed with cheaper materials, that's stuff you can inhale.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when they're I've seen videos too, when they're finished, there's still smoke coming out, but it's like the sponge burning.
Exactly. So when you're finished your oil and potentially you don't know and you're still hitting this, you're just burning the element, which is metal and some type of fiber.
And it's cheap, thin metal, you know it is, which means it can be burned easily.
Vaporized. Yep. So it's very simple, guys. Vape carts, figure this shit out.
Hemp glass.
Anything. Hemp plastic, figure the vapes out. That will do millions of dollars of effective waste waste prevention right there. But now that we've talked about that, guys, we've gone through the major ones. Now we want to talk about the emerging solutions, sustainable alternatives, right? Things that are going to solve these problems.
Nice.
Biodegradable and recyclable packaging. That seems pretty obvious, right? Refillable vape carts, which we just talked about, right? No single-use carts. It's something that you could refill. Take back and recycling programs.
Oh, right? I saw that. I believe one.
Oh, it's starting to happen.
Yeah. Fernway or one of them has it. Yeah, Fernway, right?
They're starting to do this, which is excellent. I really encourage these take back and recycling programs because that's the only option. The option is to throw it away or do something like this. Right. So
they've been made. It's like they're here. What do we do? Yeah. So. And then good. They give you money off, I think, on your next one.
Yes. Yes. There is an incentive. Yeah. There is an incentive.
We should, in Jersey specifically, we should do with like plastic water bottles and cans. You know how like in Maine and Hawaii or whatever, they give you 5 cents?
Yep.
We should do that everywhere.
Yeah. No, that should be a countrywide thing.
A full-time job picking up.
Dude, there are people that do that.
I would do that.
There are people that do that. And then our last solution as it pertains to packaging, guys, compostable and hemp-based packaging. All right. Compostable means it'll biodegrade in a composter or like a compost bin or something like that, right? All right, so guys, with we just went over the waste kind of solutions. Now that we're at the end of kind of our environmental stability kind of talk here, I want to put up let's see, what's this? What's this one? Okay, here we go. So cannabis and environmental stability, the role of consumers, right? What is your role in all of this? How do you make better choices? And I made a short little list of things we could start doing to help affect what's going on here, guys. And I'm just going to read my little list, okay? Number 1, look for organic or eco-certified products. So when a product is organic certified or meets certain requirements, you can become organic or eco-certified. And they're usually labeled somehow, right? There's usually a sticker or something. You can even go to the brand's website and look for things like this. The next, we have support local and small-scale farms. This is a huge one for me. As we know, I'm not the biggest fan of MSOs, right? I'm not the biggest fan of these super mega companies in several states with these industrial kind of level grows, right? I think as soon as you are growing that much weed, it becomes very impersonal. Plants are a personal thing to me, and I prefer to know the exact person or persons that have touched my butt, right? When you lose that kind of closeness, it's an issue for me. But next we have opt for eco-friendly packaging, right? Usually if a company is going to use a less polluting packaging or material, they're going to tell you because it is a good selling point. Yep. So you'll be able to easily find companies that use eco-friendly packaging. The next we have is buy in bulk to reduce packaging waste. Now that might be an issue because who has $300 to buy an ounce at any one time? But if you can, it'll help you buy less, which means less packaging. So instead of buying like every week, maybe you buy something that'll last you 2 weeks. Yeah. So you definitely want to make sure that if you can, you're buying less, right? Next, we have choose sustainable products. Choose sustainable products means that you're using something that's maybe packaged in recycled, plastic, or maybe it's in like a bag material, like a paper bag material. Although it won't, keep for a while, it will keep you from using plastic. So what I'm thinking here is almost like a situation where instead of something pre-packaged, you have maybe, like a bucket of weed, right? And you weigh it out there and you put it in a temporary, maybe paper bag so the customer can take it directly from there and take it home.
They do that in Maine.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
In the smaller shops. Yeah.
Yes, this is the way they do it in certain states. By the way, Maine, we are going to talk about the Maine cannabis market. It's the best. I love it.
I love it.
Wow.
I have been getting flower and concentrate from Maine. Has literally made me stop going to the dispensaries in Jersey because these people have not reached the level that Maine has.
Maine is crazy.
It's
wicked.
It is
That's what they
ridiculous. We have a whole episode where we can talk about Maine because you should go there for your next vacation.
Nice, yeah.
Trust
there
me.
is a bunch of beauty. Acadia National Park, all the islands and sailing.
Oh, it's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
My favorite thing. Get high and go hiking.
State. They're building their white ethno state in the far north.
Akira, you forgot your third. Break your ankle, sprain your ankle.
Oh no, that was in Lake George.
It's all of them. Every time Akira goes hiking, she gets injured, guys.
Well, the first time I went skiing, I tore my ACL.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
And I did surgery.
Mm-hmm. I've known Akira for a few years. She spent half of that time on crutches. Not just kidding, not half, but she has
probably a quarter.
At least a quarter of it. All right, we got two last ones. Explore organic or solvent-free concentrates. So, guys, typically most cannabis concentrates made from butane or CO2 or alcohol, and it's got a bunch of them, but the solvent-free option would be rosin, heat rosin, or heat-pressed rosin. That's the solvent-free option. And by not using, butane or whatever, and using heat, you've reduced the amount of harmful stuff you're putting into the environment, in this case, butane. Only issue, though, solvent-free concentrates tend to be a little expensive because they yield less. The process yields less than it would with BHO. So it might not be the best option because these will increase your costs, but it is what it is. It's an option.
Yep.
If you want to be that guy and I only use a solvent-free concentrates.
But again, it demonstrates the profit over the greed over planet care, model that.
Also, Maine's products reasonably priced. Like the Maine market is shocking. The same gram of concentrate that costs $90, $100 here, $30, $40 in Maine.
Wow.
Remember when I went to Maine last time? I got an ounce of what kind was it? It was an ounce of crumble.
Yeah.
For $150, $250 or something.
The stuff you gave me, right? Yeah. $150 ounce of wax. So it is a excellent market.
I still have mine, by the way. It'll literally last me my whole entire life.
An ounce of wax used to last me about a month, but we got past those days. And the last kind of option here, guys, practice responsible consumption. That means only use as much as you need to get high, right? Don't overdo it. It'll keep you from having to go back as often. High is high. Sometimes I get into this thing where I'm high as fuck already, but I'm like, let's get more high. And after a certain point, that kind of stops getting you higher.
Until you go to sleep again and wake up and hours pass.
So responsible consumption. Don't overdo it. Right, we want to be responsible consumers.
That's smart anyway. I mean, at a certain level, it's got to be really bad for you just smoking blunts all day. You know what I mean?
Well, especially a blunt. It's tobacco, dude.
Yep.
Is that tobacco over a lifetime? It's pretty harmful.
Absolutely. And you're doing what, 10, 11 blunts in a day or whatever? It's like you're just wasting it at that point. Yeah.
So, guys, we've reached the end of our show here. We're a little over. But I had a lot to say. Alex's career is continuing. Alex got a job now, so he's part-time comedy.
Yeah,
but
that's what it needs to be. It's like the comedians that have a steady, a stable financial foundation have such a leg up over broke comedians.
Yeah, well, you
got a superhero.
You got some stability. And who are you opening for tonight? Or you were?
Oh, so I'm about to straight from here. I'm going to City Winery in Center City, Philly. I'm hoping to get a guest spot on that show. It's not 100% guaranteed, but it's likely that when I show up, I'll get a little 5-minute spot, which is big. And then tonight, I'll be down the shore, Atlantic City, hopefully opening up for Danielle Rawlings. That one may or may not happen. I'm about to go to Philly right now, but I may or may not go to AC tonight, depending on what the story is when I get to Philly.
Just remember us when you get big, man. Just remember us,
I can't wait to perform at City Winery. It's a packed crowd. Like it's a high-end place with nice food and drinks and stuff. Like it's a good place. Yeah.
We continue to be proud of you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I've been in a couple movies. I'm in a skit later today. It's Crazy Sunday.
Tubi.
Comedy Sunday.
Tubi stuff,
movies.
Dude.
Yeah, Tubi stuff.
And I now love Tubi. I watch On Patrol Live. They took live PD off of regular TV, but it's on Tubi. And every Saturday and Sunday night, I just watch cops arrest people. It's great. Americans, great entertainment.
I tried to throw the drugs out the window. You got to call the people.
Thank you for listening to us today, guys. Yeah. Like, subscribe, share. We love you. We'll be back soon. Hopefully it won't be a month. But we're going to be okay, guys. We're all going to be okay.
That's right.
I know it looks dark today, but there will be another. This too shall pass.
We've been through it before.
Yep. The pendulum swings in one direction and swings back in the other for all time, right?
We're going to make it. All right. Peace out.
See you guys.